Welcome, Mr. Agarwal, to the store. Thank you for joining us today. Let me begin by the numbers coming out for VMart from the last financial year. You registered a turnover of 1,097 crores, which was a good comeback from a very challenging year, a 66% year on year recovery. But for the first time in your 19-year history, there was also a 6 crore loss. Of course, an extremely painful thing to bear with. What does this tell you about how to prepare for disruptions of the future? One understands it's a very unpredictable landscape we are in, but how should retailers and how do you plan to kind of disrupt proof your business as much as possible going forward?
Hey Vibhur, good afternoon and thank you for inviting me. And this is definitely the most challenging times that we have gone through. And these are also times where we could check our system, our efficiency, our ability on bringing in change management and the disruption, how to handle that part. So that's what we have done in the entire year. And I think there has been a lot of learning internally, as well as a lot of new agility and new processes that we have seen, which has gone in. We definitely, it was a strong comeback. Looking at the first quarter result, it was almost washed out. And if you look at the entire period, the COVID was actually rising during the second quarter and it peaked in September. And then, so the whole entire festival was also impacted because of that. So the large part of the year was largely taken over by the market conditions, which was not in our control. But still, the team did a great job. VMart as a team did a great job in trying to collaborating and working in whatever environment we could get. There is definitely a lot of scope to better that and make customer or reach to the customer wherever they are. We did a lot of benefit. We did a lot of initiatives by whether introducing trucks that went to the villages and went to the towns to serve people wherever they were, or even doing omni-channel in trying to provide product from the digital mode, or even doing a home delivery kind of concept. So we did all of that, but finally, yes, it was a difficult year. We did not want to just earn profits for ourselves, but we also were very careful on how does the ecosystem behave and how do we take care of our ecosystem in terms of the vendor, in terms of the employees, in terms of other stakeholders who are associated with us. Because it was a bad time, it was a difficult time for everybody. We took this opportunity not to cut down on expenses on every side, but to retain and take care of also all the people who are important to us and who act as a stakeholder in our entire ecosystem. So that was the entire philosophy that VMart had, that there are bad times and those crisis times are not all times. And these crisis times, as a leader, we should stand up to be near our people so that we build a better repo and a better understanding and have a strong relationship so that the future of the business and the future of the organization is secured. So that was our approach. Definitely, we have delivered a loss as far as PAT is concerned, but we definitely feel on the other side of on the credibility we have gained a lot of profits, and that is not short term, that is long term.
Right. On consumer behavior, what are the key trends you're picking up from tier 2, 3, and 4 markets?
So you see, in India, definitely this consumer behavior has been incrementally much more aspiring, and people have been aspiring to consume more because they have not consumed a lot of product or not seen those kind of lifestyle. Large part of the population are still left with those kind of experiences of even shopping at a modern retail store. So all those things are being seen. People are experimenting a lot of new things, a lot of new brands, a lot of new channels of shopping, whether it is online or offline. And they, for them, it is also a new fashion or fashionism, which they call, which their parents have not done, which they have not seen in the village or in the town. But now they are able to see, they see the similar role model that we see across the globe. They chase their role model. They look at the same movies. They look at the same serial. So they want to look like their role model, and they want to look like, but they don't have that kind of money in their pocket. They have aspirations. They don't have similar money in the pocket. So their behavior is largely value centric. and they always choose value over anything else, and that they will only also try to get through the trust element. If they trust a particular retailer, if they trust a particular brand, they will want to come to that brand regular number of times, and their trust only comes from a past experience of whether the quality of the product has been good, or the quality or the product prices have been good or not. So it is all important for that customer to deliver price, quality, as well as the fashion, because he will not buy an old fashioned product, because his opportunity to buy is only 2 or 3 times a year. So largely what I see, definitely during these times, consumers are also affected by the economic condition, and they have also lost some of the job. But largely we see monsoon being good, agriculture income being good. So a lot of village crowd and the agri income people have able to earn. So their ability to earn has been there, but we have not seen similar spending coming in, because a lot of festivals have not been enjoyed and celebrated, and a lot of events have not been enjoyed. The tourism has been almost negligible. So there is a change in the perception and the consumer mix or consumer sentiment. There is a change in the product mix also for because of that. Easy wear, relax wear have been sold more. Casual wear is selling more. Formal wears are out of the picture right now. Formal wear, party wears are not selling high. So there is a change which will continue for some more time. People overall are also philosophically also changing into little more casual approach. That is what we are noticing as of now.
Okay, you've recently said that your VMart is working on quicker mind to market strategies as far as apparel is concerned. How do you hope to achieve the supply chain optimization without adding pressure to cost?
So, Nupur, you understand that in fashion business, it is all about perishability. We say fashion is perishable because fashion also has an expiry. It also gets depleted. So over a certain period of time. So that is how we take it. And more technology and more information is bringing in more and more ability for the customer to learn about new fashion. So that new fashion, if we don't deliver, we will be out of the context. So to do that, we will definitely have to take use of technology, so that we understand and have a faster understanding of the trend, faster understanding of what colors and what designs are coming up by the international labels, faster and better planning will be important, because planning is the key to everything. How do you plan your product, your fabric, your vendor, and how do they all align and have internal planning, so that everyone don't take up one month each for the overall process to make it 6 months, but how do we compress it to 60 days and 90 days? So that's the whole philosophy. It is more about plan and technology, less about money or less about more cost. I think cost is relatively secondary stuff, but it is more about your understanding, your relationship with the brand, your relationship with supplier and fabric manufacturers, and how well are you able to perceive and how agile the team is, so that you are able to conclude your mind to market at a much shorter period.
Private labels, I believe, constitute about 65% of your fashion merchandise. How much do they contribute to sales, and what's your future plan on enhancing the private label contribution to your revenues?
So we are very comfortable at 65%. That is a part of our sale only, and we definitely want to take it up to 75 and incrementally grow that. But beyond that, we also want to better the outcome of the private label, or better the product profile of the private label. So we are working on all of that. But we also believe that there are other market labels which are not so-called renowned, but are good manufacturer or are good designer of the products, and we should not deny them to get into our opportunity as a customer. And customer should be able to see all kind of product. So that is why we have kept a space for 20-25% of our product lines also in the market label, so that product which we forget or we could not plan in the mind to market planning, we are able to also give space to people who are able to do better designing or are able to bring out better product at the similar price, so that customer satisfaction is important. So that is what we are trying to do, but definitely trying to better the efficiency, the cost, and the design aspect, plus the quality aspect of private label is our focus area, so that we are able to give more satisfaction to the customer, and customers repeat rate and the cohort increases in private label. That's the approach, so that the automatic percentage of the mix it will go up.
Right. You've also said VMart is working very intensely on revitalizing your omni-channel offer with compelling products and shopping experiences. What are the specific innovations or investments you're making in order to achieve this 360-degree retail strategy, anytime, anywhere retail?
No, so our team is fully focused, and we believe that digitalization is going to be there, and every retailer who has to exist has to be multi-channel and has to be omni-channel. So that's the approach that we are taking. That maybe even now our customers are not so prepared in terms of doing digital shopping, but slowly and gradually people are adopting that. So we are also as a retailer, when you become to a certain size, it is difficult for you to change your processes if you have to bring in omni. So I think largely, definitely there is an introduction of technology. There is a technology piece that we are trying to get in. We are partnered with a technology partner. We are definitely bringing in more tools to assist that. We are creating a separate team for that particular area, a digital team, a omni team, who are going to think for that particular line of business, those customers who are going to behave a little differently. And we are also ensuring that right now, as this is a little high OPEX model, and the margins are not so high. So there is a negative PNL on those kind of product. But that is the investment that you keep doing. The investment on bettering your technology, the investment on bettering your UI, UX, your platform, the investment on creating a different product line on that particular side, the investment on the logistic and supply chain management, and the customer acquisition management. These are very, very important investments that we will look at, including the customer relationship management, satisfaction management, so that we are able to have similar kind of brand reputation, even in the online and the omni world. So that's what we are up to.
So, despite the challenges that we've all seen over the last 14, 15 months, technology has also released many new opportunities, right, which were not there earlier, in terms of reaching out to more and more consumers, connecting with them, engaging with them, especially for India, which I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, is a largely underserved market. So the digital reach has kind of enhanced that for many retailers. Did you find any new doors opening for VMart over the past year?
See, this is definitely a lot of revelation which will come in and which will happen. We have to keep our eyes open. We have to look at from those angle and those lenses, so that we are able to find out some. But largely, yes, the revelation has been like VMart is not present in southern India. So, but our top five cities have two southern India market, Hyderabad and Bangalore, in online space. So in online, those two markets are within our top five cities. So that's a big revelation. Our ability to serve the customer from our store has been one more revelation, that all the online players do it from their warehouses. But VMart, we have mapped our stores with our nearest store stock point, and from there we are able to service them. So that's the approach that we are taking, so that the customer who has come to the store and gone back to the villages and then want to now buy the product, did not decide when he was in the store, could now buy the product and get the delivery at the fastest speed and at the cheapest cost. So that's the 2-3 things that we are thinking we will do. Definitely, we also have to ensure, and this is what one more revelation that we are trying to do, is that the offline database that we have of around more than 2 million to 20 million customers. How do we leverage that, and how do we bring in those more customers? So we are also seeing a lot of those customers coming in our platform, and for a lot of them, the survey tells that for them it has been the first time experience of doing a omni or online shopping. So VMart is always known to be the first timer in terms of while reaching to the tier 3 town. We are also becoming first timer for a lot of consumer to do digital shopping. So those are some of the relations that we have. Largely, we will get more, which will integrate back into our offline strategy also. Like in terms of our store opening plan, should we open in areas where we are getting more orders from? In terms of the merchandise mix, the more preference the online people do, we are actually able to get a deeper dive into what product should we ask more or sell more, or what product should we repeat more. So there are a lot of such revelations which are coming in, and digitalization, analytics, both is going to really help us more and more for both our internal employee awareness and as a brand awareness altogether.
Retailing is a people's business. It's about people. And so let's come to the people bit of it. It's been a very hard and very disturbing year in terms of HR, from work from home, and it's thrown up a lot of concerns about accountability, productivity. How did you? What were the policies that you deployed at VMart to ensure that the employees remained productive and remained comfortable despite the disruptions, and the company continued seamlessly?
Yeah, Nupur. So as I mentioned you, for us, people safety and people's mental well-being and physical well-being has been of the utmost importance. And we actually went and had more closeness with our people and went more closer to them in understanding, in building relationship, in talking to them, in training them, in learning, in doing a lot of learning with each other, and also doing a lot of games with each other. Because digital commerce and digitalization, even these Zoom meetings, actually made us much more closer. All the people, yes, till yesterday, who could not travel to the office and could not meet us, or we could not travel to them and meet us. Digitally was so easy, and it became so easier to actually have fun together, do yoga together, get education together, speak together, do town hall on the digital network. So there are a lot of communication that we did. We over communicated with them. We really had a lot of groups internally where a lot of trainings, a lot of capability building was provided. We gave them a lot of tools to work from home. We gave them a lot of opportunities to create new learnings. We gave them a lot of abilities so that they could take care of themselves, their family, as well as their community. So we also empowered them on all those areas so that they could feel important and they could make our VMart brand also important. So a lot of those work happened. Largely, we believe people who could work from home or who could work from village were also promoted. But beyond everything, it is a offline business, and for offline business, you need to come to the customer and you need to speak to the customer. So we took care of how to bring in that new ways of shopping, or bring in that new ways of shopping with care. COVID care came in, whether it is vaccination drive where 100% of VMart's employee has been vaccinated completely, or whether it is a safety on precaution of mask wearing, or even sanitization, or even taking care during those bad times when peak COVID happened. So all those things actually helped us a lot in building relationship much better. And we did everything that, and believe me, day one of COVID, we were working from home. We were so well prepared, and our tools were so very much available. Our team was so agile, and they were so digital adaptive that we were able to really. We did not feel, except the physical store, which was important to us. Everything was done digitally, whether it is vendor procurement, whether it is sample finalization, whether it is design finalization, whether it is new project opening, whether it is even fundraising at the bad time. We all did digitally, and it was all possible with the sheer intelligence that our team used and the teamwork which was demonstrated by them.
So going forward, is retailing going to become a more and more complex business to operate in, with customers moving back and forth between channels all the time? There are multiple thousands of data points to collate, to read, to analyze, and convert. What do you think will be the new thumb rules of profitability in retail?
We are hitting high head on the nail. So I do compliment you for that. So I would not say it is getting into a complicated business, but yeah, the varieties in the business are increasing. The complex structure which has to be simplified. The challenge is up posted. Every retailer has to definitely take care of this, and as it is becoming so-called complex for a few, but if you could make it simpler for ourselves, that's the way forward. That's the opportunity forward. So definitely there are new challenges, but I would call them all opportunities. If we look at that from the opportunistic mindset, that so much of digitalization, so much of data helping us to do a better business, which earlier we was not possible. So much of digitalization helping us to create a new space for ourselves. If I'm not opening a store in Hyderabad, but I'm able to do a very good sales in Hyderabad, how big opportunities do I have for myself? So this is national, which would go up to villages, and then you could always see international also. So definitely, new challenges or new set of data or new set of theories brings in new set of opportunities. So that's how we look at the new opportunities. That's how we look at digitalization. We believe definitely there will be those in transit time when the change management has to happen, and during those period some investments has to increase, some mind investment has to increase in these areas, your time investment has to come up in these areas, your people ability to bring in change has to come in, adoption of a digitalization has to come in, or even if people are not able to work, how do you train them or replace them has to be also done, because some brutality also has to be brought in, because this is the way you have to live with. So profitability is definitely there, but could be extended for a while to that degree. There is an opportunity to cater to the customer who are internationally there, who are nationally both in towns where VMart is not present and in villages where we are not present. So we have lots in hand. We could definitely explore them. There is definitely some complexity which will arrive. How do you win over those? There will be some tools which will be required. There will be some investment which will be required. There will be some people who will be required. Those things you have to bring in, those agility you have to bring in, those adoption abilities you have to bring in. And these analytical capabilities could actually also bring better profitability in terms of whether you do the right forecasting, whether your understanding on the customer change behavior is good. How are you able to bring in better mind to market? How are you able to bring in more resource in terms of vendor development or in terms of product development? So those are some of the benefits which one could bring in from digitalization and enhance their profitability as well as the business stability.
Okay, let's look at a big picture question. Let's look at India. Despite the so many disruptions that are happening here economically, financially, we've had a devastating start to the financial year. What do you think endorses India's consumption story? What do you think India's consumption story looks like going forward from here? Is it stable as ever? Is it more resilient? Is it does it need some remodeling? Do we need some rethinking? What do you think India's consumption story looks like?
So Nupur, we are definitely a very heavy populated country with so much of youth power, youngsters, young country who is throbbing to consume, who's coming out to spend, who wants to live life, who wants to live life the international way. So these youngsters are not going to sit back. They are definitely getting educated. They're definitely going to consume more, use more technology, understand, build their aspiration, and develop consumption. Urbanization is going to grow more. Production or industrialization is also going to grow more. More and more technology-friendly nation and in English-speaking nation will definitely lead in terms of the GDP growth is concerned. The per capita growth has to come in. the government is eyeing for a $5 trillion economy. And I believe that's not false. And this is a true picture of India. Maybe it may take some more time to reach there because of the pandemic, but I do believe that we will soon be there, and we are sitting on a gold mine, which is yet to be discovered. So the consumption is bound to grow and will grow. There is definitely a lot of space and a lot of room in the Indian economy for every entrepreneur and every business houses to explore and exploit. So we are definitely sitting in one of the greatest economy of the world, which is growing compared to economies which are finding it difficult to grow even by 2 or 3%. So we should be really lucky enough, and we should feel ourselves lucky enough that we are even if we don't do too many good things and too many great things, and we just sustain what we are doing, we should grow at the GDP rate, and our GDP rate is bound to grow at 6 to 7%. So I look at India story as a good story. More than India story is the Bharat story, and Bharat story will definitely come very strongly, and is definitely going to remain there for at least 2 more decades.
Okay, now my final question to you. For you personally, over the last 14, 15 months, what have been the biggest lessons for leadership? And also, was there something that you had to unlearn in addition to learning new things?
Yeah, so definitely I always believe that leaders have to keep learning, and these challenging times definitely bring in lot of new things and new areas of development, and new areas of awareness. So we have to definitely keep learning, take notes of that, bring it immediately, read it 5, 6 more times. One is outside knowledge, but important is our inside knowledge, which is coming in from the financial, or the where to invest time, or where to invest on, from where should you work. As a leader, I think it is important to bring in empathy. That has been the biggest learning, and that learning has always helped us. And this particular period, we have seen being humble, being human, and being very empathetic has been very, very good to us. We have to also believe that it is not only about cost, or it is not only about money, but it is also about relationship and organization structures. So that has been the two. And three, I think patience is a new word which has definitely kicked in so much, that one has to be very, very patientful. There will be bad times, but everything shall pass away, and everything shall go away. So being a leader, I think one needs to keep seeing at opportunities, be little more alert on those, build your system and your organization, so that you don't have to plan for too long. You don't have to look at every project for a very, very long period. But how could you crunch those time to a shorter time period? How do you bring in your people little more dynamic, make your people little more dynamic, and bring them together so that they are able to take up any kind of situation and any kind of crisis in a much more faster way. And that's what people have done, and that has been a great learning, that anything is doable, and this team can do it, and every team can do it, whether it is digital innovation or innovation, or it is also about handling the crisis, or handling a bad state of mind. I think everything is doable, and everything can be done by effective communications, building patience, and bringing up right communication at the right time. So those are the few learnings that I have had.
Great insights, Mr. Agarwal. Thank you so much for being on the store. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've been good.